Today on the channel from the Legends of Lucha Libre, we've got the Boss Fight Studios, Konnan.
The spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another Boss Fight Legends of Lucha Libre unboxing and review. And today we got a big one, we got a heavy hitter. We've got Konnan, but for all your Konnan boss fight needs, make sure you're hitting up Entertainment Earth. Use discount code Kyle. Save yourself 10% on all in-stock items. Of course, anything over $39 does ship free. And Konnan is currently in stock and a lot of other boss fight stuff on top of everything else at Entertainment Earth. So make sure you get a deal out there, as I always say. And of course, we're going to do this review like we do all the other reviews on the channel. We're going to take a look at the packaging. We're going to talk about it. We're going to unbox it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to see where it goes from there. And Boss Fight, no stranger to wrestling figures we unboxed. They're akin to basic figures with Juventud, Taya, Phoenix, and Penta. We unboxed the Phoenix, Penta, Lady Maravella from the deluxe versions. We've unboxed those on the channel. Now we are turning our attention to Konnan. And Boss Fight, no stranger to wrestling figures, as we do know. Just recently they did announce MLW figures. Hopefully they scale all together. There has been rumors going out. I haven't heard this confirmed or seen anywhere, but people are saying they're going to make the heights just a hair bigger for those MLW, trying to get those to fit in with your elites, your Jazzwares figures, things like that. We'll see how Konnan does here, and we'll compare him to some of his compadres later on in this very video. But without further ado, let's take a look at the packaging on this one. Very Boss Fight-esque, very similar to the other ones. A good packaging. I love the brightness of the yellow in the background. Of course, Konnan in the more flamboyant colors, and I guess we'll call it off. A lot of people think of Konnan, they think of K-Dog, they think of the NWO version, the more rapping style, gangster style Konnan, and that's definitely a version we do need it represented in action figures in modern day. Hopefully Mattel gets that done. If Boss Fight can't, somebody needs to get us that version of Konnan. But to a whole generation of fans and to a lot of the world, when they think of Konnan, this is what they think of. And this is, I always, in my brain, compartmentalize it, as this is kind of the old school red and yellow Hulk Hogan version of Konnan, where WCW was like NWO Hollywood Konnan and also NWO Hollywood Hulk Hogan. So you kind of think of it in those two ways. That's how I always do it. And of course, there was no bigger star in Lucha Libre in the early 90s, late 80s, I guess you would call it, than Konnan. I, of course, knew him from WCW first, went back, later saw this, and then I did remember saying, oh yeah, when worlds collide, things like that. And of course, Konnan, still a mover and a shaker in the action figure game right here, but also behind the scenes in a lot of talent in AAA, things like that. Of course, he has his podcast out there. He'll reach out to you on Twitter and ask if you follow the podcast. He will do that. Hopefully he follows this channel. Konnan, hopefully you're checking this review out. But very, very cool to get a Konnan figure in 2023 we are in right now. And like I said, I hope this means more Konnan figures in the future. I know a lot of people want a Max Moon, and I don't really think of him as Max Moon, but we do know that story as well. But very cool to get Konnan after all these years, represented in a newer style action figure line. So very, very nice. All the graphics down there we're used to. Little glamour shot action over there. There's old Konnan right there. And on the back, a little glamour shot. Of course, got the big cross cell down below. Lady Maravella, we already unboxed her on the channel. Check out that review. Sounds like Rey Fenix and Penta. We're getting another repaint of those figures in the future. So I guess we'll look forward to those sometime soon. Hopefully 2023, I would have to imagine. We do got a tail of the tape up top. Let's see what it says about our old buddy Konnan here. What's going on with Konnan? Height 5'11", weight 250 pounds, hailed from Mexico City, Mexico. Absolutely beautiful this time of year. Debut 1987, oh my. And then his finishing move, the Power Bomb or the Desnucadora. Desnucadora? I don't know. I took 4 years of Spanish, 3 years of Spanish, way back in the day. I think I've talked about that before, but yeah, that's a long story. We won't get into that now. But Konnan looking good. 2 heads for Konnan, 2 mast heads. I am not familiar with the silver one at all, so I'm very anxious to see what that looks like. I remember him as he is in the package here. Get the nice yellow background. I really think that pops. See you later. Goodbye. Boss Fight does a heck of a job on these figures. Some complaints about heights and stuff like that, but past that, man, really, really good solid figures that feel very nice and firm in hand, I will say. He's got the old double plastic prison. How about that? A double plastic prison. Don't want Konnan going anywhere. But we're going to pull him out. Hopefully I don't lose any pieces here. Oh my, we're making a mess. See you later. Goodbye. And see you later. Goodbye, Frisbee style, onto the couch. That's the way it goes from time to time. Put Konnan off to the side. Let's see what's going on. And we're going to start it off with the hands. And Konnan, man, he came to fight. He's fighting out of Mexico City. He's putting up them dukes. He's giving a little some of that going on. He's ready to go. He's got 2 fists of fury. Then we got other hands here. We got 2 gripping hands. Very fitting. Of course, it does come with a microphone. So we got 2 gripping hands. And then we got some crazy hands. He's throwing up some gang signs. This West Side, is that what that means? You know, I'm from the mean streets of West Des Moines, Iowa. Very mean streets. If you're familiar with West Des Moines, look it up. Oh, man, oh, man. But I'm from the mean streets of West Des Moines, so I guess I could throw this up for the West Side as well. But very, very cool there. Of course, I like the wrapping on the hands. Definitely looks tough. Looks like he's ready to throw down. But you do got some signs there. And then he's got the loser hand. I don't even know what this means. I'm not familiar with the signs he used to throw up during this time. But it looks like the loser, he's putting it up. You know, my daughter did that to me the other day. 7-year-old Emma, I can't believe it. It broke my heart. She put her hand up on her head and called me a loser. Broke my heart. Broke my heart right into 2. That's the way it goes from time. Kids, oh, kids, what do you say? Can't live with them, can't live without them. Something like that. Maybe not. We do get a microphone here. Very, very plain Jane microphone. Not really familiar with the AAA microphones, especially back in the day. I think this does work just fine. Very skinny on the top. Got a nice triangle mic stand holder, whatever you call that. And then the microphone at the top, all in black, is what it is. It's a microphone. Now we get down to old Konnan himself, old Konnan the Barbarian, we'll call him. But man, it feels a little bit smaller, but man, it feels just, it feels sturdy. It feels like a very sturdy, thick figure, looking really good. We're going to start off with the mask with Konnan. Always liked the luchadors that had masks like this with the open mouth. Something about not being connected down here, just, I don't know, it resonates with young Kyle, and I guess old Kyle as well. I love that it looks like he's wearing a mask because it looks like there is some space between the eyes and where the mask is, so it actually looks like a mask. Almost feels like you could just remove the mask, which you cannot. But a very, very good job here. Of course, this being Masked Republic, boss fight, they're going to take some extra care in a Lucha Libre line. Make sure they get every detail on these masks right. Not that Mattel doesn't try, but I think there's maybe a little bit more love in the mask here with boss fight. I think that's a fair assessment. Good coloring on this mask. You got the 2 different colors of blues, the yellows, kind of the maroonish color going on as well. A very face, Konnan, just a very stoic face, I should say, on him as well, but looks really, really good. Let's walk through the articulation. Actually, let's do the other head first. We'll do both heads together. Now, this one, I just do not remember Konnan wearing, but I'm sure he obviously did. You got that symbol on the side of his mask. Got to think, once again, Kyle just doesn't know. I'm guessing that's some kind of a symbol of a faction or his logo back there in Lucha Libre. But a very cool mask. I just can't picture what this reminds me of. It kind of reminds me of Evil Uno. Obviously, this is going to be before Evil Uno. But very, very cool with the big mouthpiece there. Totally covered. I don't know if this is like Konnan's like crazy stuff where, you know, this is normal Konnan, but Konnan has a big match, a big feud. They're going to blow off that feud. He wears a special mask. Or this is from a certain match. So somebody in the comments will know the answer to all that. But then breaking Konnan down, breaking the articulation, head removable, head back and forth, side to side, limited by the back of the mask, of course. Boss fight figures always have just mounds. They are just doing their traps over and over. They're working some heavy trap muscles here right on the side. And the traps always look really, really big. You do get the butterfly shoulder, which is always a nice surprise on wrestling figures. You do get the bicep cut. Double jointed elbows, unfortunately not pinless, but man, very tight elbows. I wish that Jazzwares had elbows like this. We know the problems with the Jazzwares line. These are extremely tight joints. Very, very cool. Really do like them. Love the wrapping on the wrist tape, wrapping into the hands. Really feels like it's really wrapped. Where a lot of times just painted on, this is sculpted in. Feels different. Just a fabulous, fabulous figure there. You got the hula hoop on Konnan. You got waist articulation. He can do those big old Konnan splits if he needs to. I thought there was drop-down hips for a sec, but there is not. No thigh cut either. Double jointed knees. You do got the sculpted in knee pads on these figures, of course. You do get a boot cut. Ankles back and forth, side to side. Really good articulation out of the ankles. Now, picking on Jazzwares at the elbows. Going to pick on Mattel at the ankles. Wish Mattel had ankles like this. Would really help posability, displaying, things like that. But very, very good feeling Konnan. I said it earlier, but man, this feels just great in hand. Just very, very sturdy, very compact. Very, very cool. Of course, Konnan just rocking that chest hair. That was like the ladies loved it in the 80s. They loved their Magnum PI style chest hair there. Very, very cool. Would love to see this as real fur chest hair. Can we get a variant out there? Somebody needs to make that dream happen. How do we get some real fur, old school Jack style? I'm hoping Mattel, Jazzwares, Boss Fight, Super 7, somebody does that. Somebody throws me a bone. Let's get that happening. but it does look really, really cool there. Of course, it does have the tanner skin color that looks really good. Even a little bit of shading that does work out in favor here. Looks really nice. He does got a hole in the back for a backpack, apparently. I don't know if he's going to do it G.I. Joe style, but that is a little bit strange. Got to think maybe that's reused from other molds. I'm not exactly sure why they would have that in there. But they do, so it is what it is. The blue and silver pants look really, really good. Just very bright, very colorful. Of course, everybody loves masks. We know by now everybody loves masks. They love face paint. They love hairy bipedal creatures. They love very colorful tattoos, and they love little people. That's what we love. We all love that kind of stuff, and Konnan checking a lot of those boxes here for us. But does he check the box to fit on a ringside collectible stand? That's the million-dollar question right here. Does he fit? Oh, I don't think he's going to fit. He's not going to fit. He's got too small of peg holes. Oh, no, it's just one foot didn't fit, but this one does. So he does fit on a Mattel ringside stand. You have to work it in there a little bit, but he does fit. So if you need a stand for him, use the Mattel stands. Looking really good. I tell you what, I really like this Konnan. I really do like this. And I like the Penta and Phoenix a whole lot as well. But boy, this Konnan, maybe because I know Penta and Phoenix, but I have a lot longer history in wrestling with Konnan than I do those two. Nothing against them. But I really like this Konnan. I like this representation here. Very, very cool. I think this is a sleeper figure. I think this, if you're going to dabble in that line, I can see a lot of people passing on Penta and Phoenix because you get them from AEW at, let's be honest, a cheaper price point. I can see people not wanting Lady Maravella because it is a female. Maybe they don't resonate. Maybe they don't know. But I can see a lot more collectors diving in on this Konnan because of a long-time collectors having a more history with Konnan, a figure we haven't gotten any kind of line for a long time. Probably all the way back to the Kellyan days. Probably the last time we had him in a mask. Of course, we got some Toy Biz Konnans, things like that that are quite honestly hot garbage. I'm calling it right here. So this one I think could resonate with a lot more collectors and a lot more people looking for action figures with this version of Konnan. Of course, we got the Lady Maravella right here from his Wave Mate. They come in sets of 2, so we got both of these together. Obviously going to take Konnan over her for me. But still a good figure. Check out that review on the channel. And then, of course, you got the more akin to basic line. And you got the old school, old Hoovy Juice. We got Juventud right there, so you can put those guys side by side. Cool to get Juventud, even if it's an old school Juventud, much like the Konnan in this line. Guys that don't get figures on a very regular basis at all. Very, very cool to have these. And then I did grab a WCW Rey Mysterio just to have here. Of course, this is the famous one against Eddie Guerrero at Halloween Havoc. So we get some of these guys, some pillars of the WCW Cruiserweight division back in the day, or I should just say the Mexican division, the AAA division, whatever we're going to call it here. But Konnan, Rey, and of course Juventud, big deals in WCW back in my day watching WCW TV. But a very, very cool one, this Konnan. Very happy to have this. Long live these boss fight figures. Definitely got to work on the scaling just a hair. I mean, they need to be a little bit taller, but it sounds like that is being worked on, so hopefully that happens for MLW. I believe they're making the Impact figures too, if I'm not mistaken, or is that Cella? I think that might have been Cella Wrestling Trader. It's hard to keep it all tracked these days. But I'd love to see some improvements. Constant learning, constant improvement. That's what we say. That's what I go to work with every single day. Try to get better. Try to figure out what worked, what didn't work. And I think Boss Fight is doing that right now. So can't wait to see what else we get from Boss Fight in the very near future. But what do you think about this Konnan figure? You picking him up? You playing the long game? You waiting for a deal? Let me know in the comments down below. Of course, you made it this far. You might as well like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on the old notification bell. Of course, videos like this much earlier on Patreon. You also get Q&As, bonus videos, a lot going on the Patreon. It is truly your best way to support the channel. You can also support the channel at ProWrestlingTees.com. Search Kyle Peterson. And don't forget to subscribe, follow, all that fun stuff over on social media. SirPaul64 is where you're going to find me on Twitter, Instagram, _Kyle_Peterson. So for Konnan and the Legends of Lucha Libre, I am Kyle. See you guys all real soon.